My name is Esperanza De La Vega, and most people call me Espi, but I'm a associate professor in curriculum and instruction in the Portland State University. I also coordinate the Bilingual Teacher Pathway program. And I've always had an interest in a passion for how language and literacy and culture interact and intersect. And I always say that I became a bilingual teacher and a qualitative researcher from when I was very little, because when I was in kindergarten, I entered kindergarten not speaking any English, and my kindergarten teacher was very insistent that I speak English, and because I didn't speak English, I would turn to my friend and ask him in Spanish, pues, ¿qué me está diciendo la señora? What is she telling me? And then I would get chastised, and the teacher's voice would be raised and would tell me, no Spanish, just English. And what was really traumatic for me as a child is that an adult had never raised their voice to me. Maybe that sounds odd for somebody, but my mother was a very soft-spoken woman, and if she was angry or upset, she would actually lower her voice. And so it would be Esperanza, and then I knew I was in trouble. One day, teacher came to visit the house, and I have 5 sisters, and so 4 of them older and 1 of them younger, and here we are standing in our kitchen, which only had 3 chairs. So my mother served the teacher coffee, and my mother sat down, and there we are, all 6 of us standing behind my mother, from the oldest to the youngest. And the lady looked at my mother, and she said, Mrs. De La Vega, we really want your children we love having your girls at school, but we really want your children to practice more English at home. And my mother just kind of paused, and my sisters and I are looking at each other. Who's going to translate that for Mom, And it fell on my older sister to translate, because my mother wanted to know, pues, ¿qué me está diciendo la señora? What is she saying? And so after the visit, my mom gathered us together, and she said, when, the teacher is very well-meaning, however, when we're at home, we're going to speak in Spanish. And so she insisted that we maintain our language, our native language, which is a gift, and I'm very, very grateful for her doing that. But I think at that moment, there was a moment of conflict and confusion between language and culture and schooling that didn't quite make sense to me. And I think for me that was a bit of when the bilingual educator in me was born, and I just kind of naturally fell into that. Taught for many years newcomer children that were immigrants, and it was a joy to go to school and work every day because I could get hugs every day, and we had great fun in learning every day, and we had times that we cried together, and we learned together, and we came together as a community, but for the most part there was a lot of joy in learning.